Alright, so today I'm going to be bringing you guys my heavy metal 4-3-3 that I tried to, get as close to the way that Liverpool plays as possible. I've tested it multiple different times. I think I tested a total of 4 or 5 times to try and get it to where I wanted it to be. A couple times I finished with well over 100 points. A couple times I finished with an unreal goal amount. But each time I could only win 2 trophies, and none of those times it was a Champions League until this version. So that is what we're going to be going over in today's video. My heavy metal 4-3-3 that is as close to Liverpool style as I can get it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free. Also, this tactic will be in the Discord that is linked down below in the description. That is where you guys can download it from. And now without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we have my heavy metal 4-3-3. This tactic is absolutely phenomenal. I've been using a different variation of it on my stream, which you can catch me at twitch.tv/whitegormy if you guys wish to do so. And it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't believe how good this tactic does within the match engine. It is so good. Now, this is different from the one that I use on my stream, and this is the best version of this tactic that I have created. Like I said previously in the intro, there were versions that I have well over 100 points with Liverpool, and they almost went undefeated one season, but they could not win the Champions League with those versions. This version won the Champions League and the Premier League. They did absolutely phenomenal. Now, I've tried different roles for players in the midfield, defensive midfield, defensively as well. I've tried complete wingbacks instead of wingbacks on attack. I've tried double ball playing defenders, tried roaming playmaker, deep line playmaker, ball winning midfielder, settled on a halfback, tried central midfielder on attack, settled on Mazzala on attack. So I have done everything possible to try and get this exactly how I want it, and this is where we have arrived. So, starting up top, we've got an advanced forward on attack, take more risks, and shoot more often. We've got an inside forward on attack on the left side with crosses aimed at center, shoot more often, and sit narrower. The inside forward on attack on the right side also has these same instructions. We get to the Mazzala on attack in the midfield, who has crosses aimed at center and shoot less often. The box-to-box midfielder on support has take more risks, crosses aimed at center, shoot less often, and move into channels. The halfback on defend has take more risks, shoot less often, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Both wingbacks on attack have take more risks, crosses aimed at center, and shoot less often. Then the ball-playing defender on defend has tackle harder added, and the central defender on defend has tackle harder, while the sweep keeper on attack doesn't have anything added. Now, this is played with an attacking mentality. I would suggest the lowest going is positive, unless you are a team trying to use this style and you're playing against like Man City, Real Madrid, PSG, and you're not at that level yet. That's when you go balanced. But this is meant to be heavy metal football, high pace, high pressing, high scoring, high attacking. That is what you want from this tactic. Now, when we are in possession of the ball, we play with a fairly narrow attacking width. We play out from the defense. We work the ball into the box, use low crosses, and have extremely high tempo. When in transition, we counter press and counter, and we distribute to the center backs. You can distribute to fullbacks and center backs, but I like distributing to the center backs with this style of play. And then once out of possession, we use the offside trap, much higher line of engagement, and a higher defensive line. Much more often trigger press, aka much more often pressing intensity, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and stay on feet when tackling, because that allows us to win the ball back in as smart a way as possible. So that is the heavy metal 4-3-3 tactic. Let's see what the results look like. So, Liverpool is the team that we tested with, of course, because we're trying to play like Liverpool. Do our best to emulate exactly how they play, and I'd say we did a pretty good job, being that we won the league on 98 points with 101 goal differential. Then we beat PSG 2-0 in the Champions League final. We did get knocked out in the semifinal of the FA Cup by Tottenham, which is unfortunate. And I'm guessing we just fielded a team that we did not care about in the Carabao Cup, because we got knocked out in the third round by Birmingham City in that competition for some reason. But otherwise, we absolutely dominated, and we scored a boatload of goals. I mean, having a 101 goal differential in the league, that's pretty nuts. Looking at the team overview side of things, we had 129 goals within the league, which is absolutely absurd. Most shots for, we had 916, almost 1,000 shots. That's pretty crazy. We only had 281 shots against us. Best pass completion, we're not in. Most possession, however, we are at 52%. But it doesn't really tell how much of a possession beast this tactic can be, because there are games that they had 60% and above against some teams. Most tackles won, we're not in. Most dribbles made, however, we are, with a big lead against Man City in that regard with 641 dribbles made. Most clean sheets, we were in second with 20, and we only conceded 28 goals. Getting into the player overview side of things, Mo Salah had 29 goals, Trent Alexander-Arnold had 18 assists, and Mo Salah had 14. Most shots, Mo Salah's in there. Most player of the match performances, Trent Alexander-Arnold had 10, Mo Salah had 5. Trent Alexander-Arnold was integral to making this tactic work because, in my opinion, in reality, Andy Robertson definitely more of a defensive player than Trent Alexander-Arnold is, whereas Trent Alexander-Arnold is the more offensive player, and this tactic really helps show that. Most key passes right here, Trent Alexander-Arnold with 191, and even though I said Andy Robertson is the more defensive player, he's still at 125 key passes. Then we get to best pass completion, no one was in. Most tackles won, no one in. Most dribbles made, however. Andy Robertson in there with 102. Most clean sheets, Allison had 20. And fewest conceded, Allison only conceded 26. Now, looking at how this team did with this tactic, I can't believe some of the numbers we got. Mo Salah scoring 43 goals, pretty impressive. We got Virgil van Dijk with 23. The set pieces that will be attached to this tactic are absolutely absurd. So definitely make sure that you have a center back that is good in the air, because they will help you big time on set pieces. Then you get Roberto Firmino with 16, Thiago Jota with 15, Sadio Mane with 14, Luis Diaz with 13, and Joel Matip with 11. So both center backs who will start a majority of the time within this tactic, both having double-digit goals. And I mean, Virgil van Dijk with an absurd amount of goals. Assist-wise, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 31 assists. Also, over here in the average rating, 8.09 overall throughout all competitions. Dude is an absolute machine with this tactic. Then we've got Mo Salah with 16 assists, Andy Robertson with 12, who had a 7.68. And then we got Kostas Tsimikas with 11. So even though he did not start every game, Kostas Tsimikas still had 11 assists. That's pretty impressive. I mean, 11 assists and 18 starts, 12 off the bench. That is pretty good. Sadio Mane with 10, and then the next highest after that was Joe Gomez at 9 and Chris Jones at 8. So overall, this tactic, very good, and I want to sort it by average rating real quick, because there are only 5 players that did not have a 7.0 or above, and even though Roberto Firmino had 16 goals, 5 assists, he only had a 6.93. Now, I mean, our wingbacks did absolutely phenomenal. That is what I wanted to kind of concentrate quite a bit on with this tactic, because they like crossing the ball. It's heavy metal football. You want to have every opportunity possible for your side. And Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson, very good at making that happen, because together they had 43 assists. And I mean, Mo Salah had 43 goals. So for all you know, they could have assisted every single one of Mo Salah's goals. Now, Joel Matip, he did very solid defensively as well. So did Kostas Tsimikas, Virgil van Dijk, and Ibrahima Konate. They all did very well defensively. James Milner, Mr. Utility Man, as I like to call him, because he can literally do anything you want. He had a pretty solid season as well. Even though he only featured in 20 matches, he still did pretty solid. But Mo Salah, overall, the best offensive performing player within this tactic. Gee, imagine that, because he is an Egyptian god. Now, let's see how they did within the match engine with this tactic. So as you can see within the match engine, Liverpool look absolutely phenomenal with this tactic, and this tactic performs very, very well. Two of those games that were there within the match engine part, they were both against Barcelona. They outscored them in their first round knockout 10-1. That's absolutely phenomenal. Barcelona, yes, they're not the Barcelona of old, but they're still Barcelona. And being that Liverpool outscored them 10-1, that's absolutely absurd. But there is a result that I did not show you guys within the match engine part because of how long it would take to get through the goals. So let's take a look at it real quick. So, this is the game I want to show you guys real quick. We played Burnley within the league. Liverpool beat them 13-0. That is correct. 13-0. Now, I'm pretty sure they were up like 6 or 7-0 at half. And then Burnley got a red card. And then they got another one. And then they got another one. So that definitely leads to winning 13-0. But it is absolutely absurd what this team was able to do. They outpossessed them 62%, 38%. They had 45 shots, 24 of which were on target. The XG was a 5.58. I mean, they only hit the post once. That's absolutely insane numbers. And I mean, looking over here at what the players were able to do, Naby Keita had a hat trick. Curtis Jones had a hat trick. Joel Matip had 2 goals. Mo Salah had a goal. Roberto Firmino had a goal. Ibrahima Konate had a goal. Sadio Mane had 2 goals. That is absolutely insane. And they had 4 players with 10.0 ratings. That is absolutely unreal. And James Milner had 13 key passes as well. This tactic is absolutely absurd. You guys definitely need to give this a go. As you can see, this tactic, absolutely unbelievable. Very, very good. Scores a boatload of goals. It is heavy metal football. Do I wish we could have gotten a quadruple? Absolutely. That would have been the icing on the cake. It would have been awesome. But I'll definitely take a Premier League title and a Champions League title at trying to do my best at recreate what Liverpool does in reality. And I think it did a pretty darn good job of it, if I do say so myself. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button? If you guys wish to download this tactic, it will be down in the Discord, which is linked in the description. That is where you guys will be able to download this tactic at. But until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.